Hey guys, what's up? KillJoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today I'm doing a non-spoiler review of Wrong Turn, which I am so excited to talk about. Unfortunately, our international friends were unable to see it in theaters and are gonna have to wait until late February, which really blows because I thought this movie was pretty good. We're gonna get into that review in just a second here, the non-spoiler review. I got an actual spoiler review coming out later in the week. If you're a Patreon supporter though, you can see it on Thursday. If you're not, you can see it on Friday. So consider supporting me on Patreon. But before I get into this though, I'm gonna need you guys to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Alright, now let's get into it.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Well, I'm Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast!
You son of a...
God, don't do that.
Well, sometimes that is better.
I don't even know where to begin with this movie. First off, right off the bat, it is absolutely nothing as to what I expected. And this is gonna come as a disappointment to some people, and this isn't a spoiler or anything. This film is a remake, not a direct continuation whatsoever, like we had been told. Which is weird because I read that directly off of a Screen Rant article that this would be a direct continuation to the first film. There's absolutely no ties to the original film or the original series whatsoever. Which is gonna come off as disappointing to some. We don't have the inbred cannibals. Three Finger does not show up, which is kind of sad. But hear me out. This film kicked butt. Instead of a torture porn-like slasher, we instead get this Midsummer-esque cult psychological horror film. And I think because you marketed it as a Wrong Turn film, you're going into this thinking, okay, you know, cheesy slasher film with a lot of gore. So like that'll be cool, you know, right? Like just a fun little slasher movie. Nothing else than that. Oh no. There's so many deep thinking levels to this movie. I was so freaking blown away. That marketing strategy is just so brilliant. Because when you go into something with low expectations and then it ends up being a freaking great film, you end up thinking even higher of it. Alan McElroy is a genius. I don't care if he wrote Spawn, he wrote this movie. And I didn't give enough credit to Mike P. Nelson. I mean, the direction was fantastic. They even said in the trailer he's this acclaimed director, and I'm like, he's done like 3 movies and I've never heard of any of them. But no, the direction and the writing were absolute top tier. You can tell they worked for a long time on this film, and it is an unbelievable travesty that this film is not having a wide theatrical release. Probably because it has the name Wrong Turn. But at the same time, I think that's why it's so great. Like I said, you can just get this from the trailers. This is a film that focuses on this cult that lives in the middle of the woods, opposed to inbred cannibals, which really shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. I don't really think I'm spoiling anything by saying that. I hope not, at least. The other really interesting thing is like the first 30 minutes of this film feels like a Wrong Turn film. You have your teenagers walking through the woods, and some of them might get picked off, might not, I don't know. And then because of their actions, like everything that happens in that first 30 minutes affects the rest of the film in a completely different way. And 30 minutes into this, you have this feeling, and I can't say why, like it's over already? Then there's like these really long scenes. It gets a little boring in the middle. That's probably my one big negative for it. But it sets up so much for the ending that it's all just totally worth it. Besides the first 30 minutes, this is a slow burn film, which like I said is gonna come off as distasteful to some. Probably why it doesn't have that great of a Rotten Tomatoes score, because you're expecting like bloody slasher, whole bunch of kills, like fast-paced action. No, this is like a slow burn cult film that has a really explosive ending. And by explosive ending, I mean this film isn't over until the last credit rolls down. Like there's still stuff going on. I almost left the theater because I thought it was over, and then no, more stuff happens during the credits. And it's like, it's mind-blowing. I was going like that the whole time. If you're a fan of the Wrong Turn series and you want to see torture porn kind of slasher, I've said torture porn so many times during this video, you're gonna probably be disappointed by this film. But if you're into like a whole bunch of different types of horror films, like for example, if you like Midsummer, Hereditary, The Witch, I feel like you're really gonna like this film then. I can see why fans would be disappointed by this, because it's not like a whole bunch of gruesome kills, but when there are kills, it's horrifying and disgusting. It does keep that same tone though of having very visceral kills, lots of great gore in this movie, just not as much as the original series. They also have a few nods to the original series, like towards the end of the film. There's a line from a character who I'm not gonna say because it's a non-spoiler review. This character says, aren't we gonna watch a movie tonight about inbred cannibal killers or something like that? So that's a cool little nod to the original series. And also a little bit of meta humor. It's alright to sprinkle that in here and there. I also want to talk about how this film touches on political stuff, because this was something I feel like people were worried about going into it. Another criticism I have of this movie is there's just one scene in the beginning that gets a little preachy. No nowhere near as bad as Black Christmas 2019, but it does get like a teeny tiny bit preachy, but it sets up something that happens later in the film that it actually makes sense as to why they did that. So it's not that big of a negative to me, but if you're just watching the beginning of this film and you don't know how it ends, it's like, seriously? Like, come on, we've seen this a million times. But it ends up affecting something that happens later on in the film, so I'm okay with it. This movie also does something that I love seeing in horror films. You can justify the morals of the bad guys, basically, which I always think is so interesting. And another notable example of that is Thanos from the MCU. I mean, you get why he's doing all of it. He's not going about it the right way, but like, it's understandable. That's kind of also how I feel about the killers in this movie. I'm not gonna say what, but they have a pretty good reason to be doing what they're doing. They're killers who have good morals, but they just go about things the wrong way because, well, they're killers. I feel like I'm getting really close to spoiler territory, so I'm gonna stop my review here. If you want to watch a spoiler review, I got a Versus video coming out Friday. Also, don't forget, you can see it early on Thursday by supporting me on Patreon just at my $3 tier. You don't have to go all the way to the $13 tier. And don't forget, my Patreon is going to be completely funding my new Scream fan film. So if you want that to look good, maybe support me over there. I would greatly appreciate it. So thank you guys so much for watching my non-spoiler review of Wrong Turn. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. To my international viewers, I'm really sorry you couldn't see this film. It sucks that they're not doing a wide theatrical release of this, and why they're having it on VOD at late February makes no sense. They should just put it on VOD at the end of the week. I don't understand the wait here, but I highly recommend you check it out at least. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at KillJoyJake1, on Instagram at KillJoy_Jake, and on TikTok, just look up KillJoyJake. I'm sure it'll come up. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.